What's up, everybody? Ty Bartel in with another edition of Coach's Corner, as I am joined by one of my personal faves to always chat a little bit of basketball with. It's the Howland boys basketball skipper, Dan Bubon, joining me today. What's up, Coach?
Ty, my man, this is the official start of the season right now. If I do not get to talk to you, the season does not start. I just wanted you to know that right now. So you can't change jobs, you can't move, you can't do anything until I'm done coaching, just so you know.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach. I always love talking a little bit of hoops with you, and I'm excited to talk about this year's team because if I remember correctly, a year ago when we last talked preseason wise heading into last year's team, there was a lot of youth that you were excited about that was going to have to take big steps this season too. Talk to me about some of the developments. Talk to me about the roster that we can expect to see from this year team and some of the highlights we'll see.
Well, we were real young going into last year. We are coming off a district final appearance that was a senior laden team. So last year we played 10 kids in just about every single game, and eight of those are back this year. We started out well. Actually, it was shocking. We started out 7-2 last year. Then we got into the meat of our schedule, which was brutal, and just the back end of our schedule was loaded with great teams and senior laden teams, and we just got beat up and did not finish the season on a one-loss record. Great, but I knew it would benefit us down the line, and I think it's going to real fast. We had a great off season. All eight kids that played are back, along with a sophomore now that played JV last year that is ready to contribute varsity wise, and a senior that's come back to our program that is an excellent guard. We were sad to lose him. We kind of lost him to soccer for a couple of years. I mean, all-state soccer player, but he's back and he's going to help us. So we're 10 deep again, but 10 deep with a lot of experience and a lot more size than we normally have. So so far so good. Preseason's been great. First couple of scrimmages have been good. So we're really just looking forward to keep getting better and getting to the season.
You talked about it, Coach, too. I mean, you guys started off on a great start. You struggled towards the end too, but like you said, made that district final appearance too. Do you see it as a benefit having the boys have both an experience of an extreme high and an extreme, I guess, low point from last season to kind of understand where the parameters are and where they need to be playing?
Yeah, but maybe I misspoke. The district final appearance was the year before. The year before team come off of district finals, but you know, we started out well last year, and we did not have an easy schedule. Like that with the seedings now, they give you an RPI ranking or a strength of schedule ranking, and in all of Northeast Ohio in Division III, we actually had the third toughest schedule in the entire region last year. So we knew it was tough. The teams that we beat early were not pushovers; those were good wins for us. It's just the back end was extremely brutal. I thought we took it well. We told them going in, this is going to be tough now and in this tough stretch of the schedule. I thought we took it well until about the last week of January, I think it was. We actually played really well and took Ursuline down to the last couple minutes and lost close. And then we took Boardman down to the last shot, and they hit a three at the buzzer to beat us. And I think that was the backbreaker for last year's team. That deflated us after that. We just didn't have the same energy. And that's when you're young and you're not experiencing for a month stretch a lot of success. It's tough. But, after as soon as the season ended and we looked around at what everyone else was graduated and what we had coming back, I think we started to realize what we had possible for this year. So, like I said, the attendance in the offseason was good. And then into this preseason, knock on wood, we're mostly healthy. We got one guy from football a little banged up, but other than that, we're healthy. So the energy in the preseason so far, just the maturity you see in the kids taking practice more seriously, really getting on each other, all the things that good teams have to do. I'm seeing in this team right now. So we're just hoping that continues.
You've been doing this quite a while. You've seen good teams, bad teams, everything in between. In your perspective too, and I'm sure that you've probably gone over this conversation with the boys, but what separates a good team from a great team in your eyes?
A lot of times it's just doing the little things. Just the few things we've gotten mad at them the first couple of scrimmages, loose balls that we're not jumping on the floor on, a chance to take a charge, just those little things that maybe non-coaches don't see. But any good team we've ever had, that's what they're willing to do. Because again, with our schedule's not getting easier. We're playing all the same teams basically, so we're going to be in close games. And in those close games, a lot of times it's just those little things. We have the talent. It just we can see that. And honestly, this could end up being our most talented team that we've had. If it competes for our toughest team, then this team's going to do really, really, really well. But when you're playing Canfield, when you're playing Harding, when you're playing Ursuline, a lot of those times, those games just come down to there's a loose ball at the end, and who's going to fight for it, who wants it. Can't teach that. Either you're going to do it or you're not. Then when you try to instill it in him, try to instill it in practice. But when it comes down to it, either you're willing to do it or you're not. And I like what I see in them right now. They're out of their comfort zone a little bit. They're a quiet group for the most part, but they are starting to do those little things, practice harder, get on their teammates for not practicing as hard as they can. Really buying into we have a trainer that comes in and works with them, and boy, he put them through a tough one last night, and they fought through it and went at it hard. So, like I said, I like what I'm seeing. Games haven't started yet. We haven't lost a game yet. You never know how kids are going to react, but so far so good.
For me too, one of those big traits is accountability too, and accountability from the players within themselves and with each other too, as well as the coaching staff and just accountability across the boards too. And I know with you being an old school coach too, an old school style, you foster that too. That's a kind of in your culture too. What does accountability though specifically look like in your gym?
Being able to take coaching. It's not. I've been doing this for 31 years, teaching and coaching, and I don't know. I'm getting toward the end of teaching. I know that. I like to coach for a little longer, but getting toward the end of teaching, and I don't know. I'm starting to just reflect on a lot and just differences in kids, and just from when I grew up, and I'd say the first few classes that I taught, we were just used to getting yelled at all the time, and it rubbed off our shoulders like it was nothing. But I will say the generation now. You can't really go at them as hard, and kind of any little criticism sometimes they don't take well. And maybe that's maturity too, but I'm seeing that better in this group than I saw out of them last year. We talk about plausible deniability. If anybody get deep in the weeds, know what that is. Like, do you have an excuse in your mind already that coach is going to say something to you, but you're going to blame someone else? You're going to have an excuse why you did it, or are you just going to say, I got it. I made a mistake. I'll take care of it next time. That's what you want. So hopefully we're getting there.
Over the course of this season too, and I feel like for every coach it's different too, and I feel like depending on where they are in their coaching career, the answer to this question is different. But how do you define success at this stage in your career? What would you define as a successful season?
That's a good question. I know a lot of people give deep answers on this, but I mean, listen, in the end, it is competition, and you do want to win. Okay. I haven't felt great about a lot of seasons where we've lost a lot. Last year I didn't feel as bad because I knew we were young and I knew the schedule. Okay. So but it's no fun going through losing. You're competitive. You don't like to lose. But for us, and I've said since I come into Howland, we're in the toughest conference around here. I look at any school around here that's not in our conference and say, do you want to play Canfield, Boardman, Fitch, and Harding twice? It's 8 games. It's 8 games where we're very rarely ever favored in. So to me, do we compete in the league? Are we competitive in those games? Do we win our share of games? Yeah, if you have a chance to win it, obviously you want to win that league. But for us, being a little smaller division than a lot of the other schools, the years that we've competed in the league, finished in the middle of the league, we've had chance to get to district finals. So just play that tough schedule, compete your butt off as hard as you can, be in games, and you're going to lose some of them. You get in a bunch of close games, you're going to lose some of them. But boy, if you have the attitude you can compete with anybody, you're not scared to play anybody. And I think our program is seen as that around here. I think people look at our schedule and see who we play. And again, before last year, we were double-digit wins 3 years in a row, and we're in 2 district finals 2 out of 3 years. So I know people don't pay attention overall like they used to, but anybody that pays attention to high school basketball, like we're right there. Nobody rolls over us in our good years. And again, that's last year's just our youth. This is our youth and how physically small we were. We got rolled over a few times, but
And
that was
those
the only
district
way.
final appearances came in 4 division format too, and not the
Yep,
expanded seven
correct.
division
Yeah,
format as
we
well.
were in Division II both of those years. We played Louisville tough and lost, and then the second time, Lutheran West was really they were ranked #1 in the state. They rolled over us, but for that team to get to district final was a nice run.
Coach, you highlighted the conference schedule. We always know the AAC is a meat grinder of a schedule, but highlight that non-conference. I know how much you like to keep competition local too. You feel like there's a lot of great competition locally. What are some matchups that pop up on your schedule this year that you're excited for that you feel like are going to test your boys prior to the tournament?
You know, we play a lot of the same teams now. We don't have that many different this year. We play a lot of the NE8. You know, the NE8 a lot of their enrollment's probably closer to us than some of the teams in our league. Those are all good matchups for us. The South Range and Poland, those are real good programs. Hubbard's going to be good this year. We play them, and we're starting to play some of the EBC teams. Howland is actually going to join that league in football next year, so we're starting to play a few of those. West Branch Alliance is real good. We play those guys. Ursuline, we've played great games with Ursuline probably for the last 4 years in a row. Then we got our local rivalries, Niles and Lakeview. Always seems that we play Girard right down the road. So a little bit of everything. Playing both Youngstown schools again. They were not on the schedule last year. They're back on the schedule this year. And Marlington. We haven't played them in a few years, but they're always a tough competition. A little bit outside the area. So a little bit of everything. The way the tournament is now, that prepares you because a lot of times in the tournament now, you don't play anybody close like you used to. We don't have a lot of Division III teams in our area. I think it's just us, Ursuline, and both the Youngstown schools. So out of 60 teams in Northeast Ohio, it's real likely you're playing somebody out of the area. So just sprinkling in some of them out of the area games and then see what you get in the tournament.
You talked about a little bit of everything, and one of my favorite things about this sport too, especially at the high school level, there is a multitude of ways to get it done, to get wins, to go on deep runs, to have successful seasons. For you and your personal taste, your personal preference, what is your version, your vision of great basketball look like?
It's a good question because it's changed. That's funny. I watched last night when I came home. We always practice late, so I'm always getting home late. The NBA TV had on the 1979 finals, Sonics and Bullets, because when Lenny Wilkins passed away and he coached that Sonics team. So they were playing that game. And I think I texted one of our coaches. I said, kids wouldn't recognize this. This doesn't even look like basketball today. It looks so completely different. That's the basketball I grew up on. Everything was inside the paint. There wasn't 100 threes being shot every game the way there is now. My ideal basketball is actually a mix. I like some old school inside basketball along with the 3-point shooting. So I don't know if you call it a hybrid, but we still probably teach our kids to post up and play inside more than a lot of schools do. A lot of schools now, it doesn't matter what they have, all 5 guys on the 3-point line, and that's the way they play. It's new school. I get it. That's the way they came up, but a little bit more old school. I like the inside out. I like great defense. Our better teams are always really good defensive teams. So might not be exciting to other people, but that's okay. That's what I grew up on.
It's a type of game I appreciate, and that's why you usually catch me out at a few of your games every single season too. I appreciate the style your boys play. You've been through doing this for a long time too, and like you said, you've had to evolve as a coach. You've seen all kinds of different ways that the game has evolved. What's one of the harder lessons coaching has taught you, and how did it make you better as a coach and as a person?
Whew. Hey, you're getting some deep questions this year. I like it. Hard lessons. You know what? Sometimes it brings you back down to earth. Sometimes you have a good year and you think you're a little smarter than you are. And then you go and you have a down year. And yeah, you kind of realize there's a lot of factors that go into this, honestly. In the end, the kids win the game. When you win the game, the kids make the plays. I don't make any plays. I'm trying to put them in the best position possible. But in the end, any games that we've ever won, I didn't make a basket. So it humbles you. I don't know any great lessons. Kind of like life. You go through life long enough, you have good things and bad things happen to you, and you just got to kind of deal with it. You try to stay as even keel as you can. This is one of the things that we've been harping more on our kids lately. That there's too much up and down, up and down. You can't be effective if you're all over the place with your emotions. Try to stay even keel. Understand there will be ups, there will be downs. Just move on to the next thing and stay together.
I'm going to ask this next question. I've asked a few coaches this next question too, and it goes in just the electricity and everything that this game brings to. It's always one of the most exciting ones when you get one of those close games coming down to the wire. But I also noticed too that once I became a coach, I got goosebumps from calling games when they were close. But when I started coaching my daughter and then getting into practices, and when they finally have something click that you're teaching them, like that's also that type of feeling. When's the last time this game gave you goosebumps?
Oh, I don't know. Goosebumps. We go back to this old school coach now. When I started coaching at Champion, John Gibson was the head football coach. Great guy, real old school coach. And tell me one time that after you do this for a long time, you don't enjoy the win so much anymore. When you win, you're relieved, and when you lose, you're just upset at the world. And that's the way it is a lot of times during the season. We just grind it out, and you're, oh my God, you win, and you're just, oh, thank God we won. And if you lose, like I'm trying to figure out 700 things, but I can't think of a specific instance, but there are times that you're right. Something clicks, something in practice. You see a kid that you've gone over this 500 times. He doesn't ever seem to get it, and then he gets it. Okay, like the team gets it. All right, and yeah, a specific one can't go into my mind because I'm thinking 31 years are rolling through my mind, but I know it happens. I know it may happen tonight. I'll be honest with you because we watched some film last night of one of our scrimmages, and I know some of our younger kids didn't understand what they were doing until they saw it on film, and then they were kind of embarrassed watching themselves on film. So tonight we got a couple drills put in. I want to see if that clicks tonight. So the answer may be tonight. I'll have to let you know.
Coach, I've also noticed too, just in my short times dipping my toe into the coaching realm too, that there's often those times of me just always wondering, all right, am I doing things the right way? Am I going about things the right way? And I sometimes have that little bit of self-doubt. Do you still have that self-doubt from time to time, wondering if you're doing things the right way, if you're going about things the right way after 31 years, and how do you combat those type of feelings?
Well, you try to make the best decision you can. The lucky thing for me is I got a staff that I trust completely. There's not many people in the world I trust more than the guys I coach with. So yeah, I bounce things off those guys all the time. And usually, as long as they're not looking at me like I'm going off the deep end, I at least know I'm on the right track. But that you need that, okay? Because you can, if you're off trying to do this all by yourself, like I don't even know that I could anymore. Like you need those guys, and you need guys that have been there. But this is a conversation I've had with a lot of people lately too. Is there's a bunch of guys my age and around my age that aren't going to be doing this much longer, and I don't know that there's a ton of younger people that want to be lifers in this to put in 25, 30 years or whatever Coach Sembeck has, a million years in here. Like I just don't know if you're going to see that anymore. And I don't think that's great for kids. I think you're just going to get guys that almost this is like a part-time thing. I'm going to do it for a couple of years. I'm going to get out. And I think there is value to people that have done this for a long time. I've met a lot of great guys doing this. I can count on one hand in 31 years the amount of coaches I've met that I didn't think were good guys or good for kids. So hopefully there's people out there wanting to get into this.
You mentioned your staff. I want to give you the chance to fully introduce them too. I know a lot of it doesn't change too, but that's okay too. I still want to give them a chance to be spotlighted too, because like you said, the program can't be what it is without them.
No, it can't. It cannot. Bill Kovacs, my varsity assistant since day one at Howland, former head coach at Brookfield. Nobody puts together about a better scouting report than Coach Kovacs. Nobody's better in coming up with shooting drills for the kids and just a lot of stuff that probably goes unnoticed by people that aren't there. Coach Stella, my JV coach, who I coached when he was playing at Harding, been with me for every step of the way from Liberty to Howland. Great with kids, great young coach. That every program around here should be knocking down his door to be their next head coach. But I don't know that he wants to be. He's got a lot of other things going on, but he would be a great one. Coach Salvo, who's been with us, he's a busy guy. So we're trying to convince him to come around for one more year this year. He may or may not. We got to work out a contract with Coach Salvo, but. Frank Manios, who played for us, graduated in 2019, is our freshman coach now. So we do got a younger guy on staff, and he is a guy. Here's a young coach that does want to get into this. So trying to get him in the program, and maybe he'll be sitting in this seat in a few years. Who knows? And then his dad, Lee, coaches our 8th grade, and then Coach O'Neill, who used to do our freshman, our 7th grade. Real experience down the line, other than Frank, who's kind of just getting into this. So I don't think you can get better staff many other places.
Coach, my final question for you. It's our theme question. I know how much you love our theme questions each and every year too, and it goes a little bit beyond the sport of basketball. Do you have a specific moment or a time where you realized that this job of being a head coach of basketball was more than just basketball?
The job of being a head coach is more than just basketball. You know what? I'm gonna take the reverse angle on this, because this is what we talking about younger kids. With our kids, sometimes they overthink things a lot and want to put this great importance on this. And if I mess up, it's going to be the worst thing in the world. Sometimes we got to go the other way and go, hey man, it's just basketball, okay? You're going to do a million other things in your life that are bigger, more important. Now, this is important. We put time into it. We learn things from it. But this is not the end all be all. I knew too many guys I grew up with that like they're still talking about a game that happened 40 years ago that no one else remembers and living and dying with it. Like, you don't want to be that guy. Okay. Now, is there importance to it? Yes. One of my favorite things about teaching and coaching is that I will go out, and my son laughs like crazy because it doesn't matter where we go. I will run into somebody that I know through either teaching or basketball. And usually, and this is the thing I like, usually the first thing is they will get a big smile on their face, which tells me that the experience they had with me, whether it was in the classroom or basketball, was an enjoyable one. If you haven't seen someone in a long time and you get a negative reaction, that means, oh, I hated this person. And I don't get that very much. But I usually get a big smile, and they're talking about something that happened. Remember this, remember that. It was good. Was it a good experience? Great. Did you learn a few things from it? Great. Okay. But again, don't treat this like this is the greatest or best or the only thing that's ever going to happen in your life. It's part of it. Do the best you can, and we can live with whatever happens from there.
I love it, Coach. I love it too. I'm so excited to see what your team's going to be all about this year, and just that foundation of experience that these guys got to have last year. I really feel like it's going to pay its dividends this season. I can't wait to see you guys out there on the court, and we'll be seeing you out there real soon.
Looking forward to seeing you, buddy.